The dirty secrets of healing. I'm sorry, the dirty secrets of healing. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Healing can be very tricky because the thing of it is that, healing, especially when it comes to mental health, is not like just putting a band-aid over a scar and it's going to heal on its own and then you be like, oh, I'm fine. Healing is a process. It takes steps, it takes boundaries, and it takes you looking deep inside yourself to really actually get to know yourself, to know what you need to work on as an individual if you want to get better. Healing is part of accountability.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like one of those things where it's like, it depends on what part of your life you decide to want to heal. Because healing is scary. You have to look at yourself. You have to be comfortable enough to be able to break down those barriers and tell yourself like, hey, I want better for myself. And that's a lot of self-talking to yourself.
Right.
Or it also comes with somebody else bringing it to you and you getting help with it.
No, you're correct. It's a healing. It's the reason why I say it's a dirty secret in some aspect is they don't tell you everything about healing.
They sure don't.
People, and the reason why I put it that way is because people feel like, oh, if I'm doing my work or going to the therapist, doing my mental health work, then I'm going to be fixed.
Yeah.
They don't talk about sometimes you can be sitting in the closet just crying.
Yeah.
Like you start recognizing certain things. Like the other day, like you'll wake up out of it. See, here's my issue. You'll wake up out of a dead sleep and you'll think about things.
You're right. Or you would just lay in the bed, your body's tired, or you would just lay in the bed and you can't go to sleep and it's just like your mind doesn't shut off.
No.
But the one thing that I notice is that with healing, when it get really intense, there's parts where you hate yourself.
Yeah. No,
and then there's parts where you have to grieve, because when I mean by the grieving part is that a part of you have to die off to rebuild what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes with healing, you have to be so raw with yourself and sit down with yourself and say, what is it that I want? And not try to heal on what people think you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And healing is scary.
It is.
It's scary because it takes a lot of guts, and some people prolong it. They prolong healing because they're just thinking like they have time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do you really? Because healing is not one of those things that's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be happy and it's just like, oh, well, I'm going through the process of healing today. How do you feel, Charity? Nah, it don't look nothing like that.
Hell no, it's not a commercial.
It breaks you down to the ground and you have to literally take these pieces and put them back together so that every part of you fit in a way to where it's comfortable and glued together to where it merged to build a new wall.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think the toughest pill to swallow when it comes to healing is recognizing your faults and also recognizing the unwanted needs that you may have accommodated throughout your life.
Yeah.
That was negative or toxic, and being aware of wanting to grow in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like it's just, I know lately on my healing journey, I feel like it's been very emotional.
Okay. Elaborate more on that.
Some days I will wake up and just like lay in bed and just look up at the ceiling. And I go through a point there's where I'm angry because I allow myself to be in situations. And then it's almost like I beat myself up. Like, why didn't I not do something sooner? Why did I, what was I looking for?
Did you feel like when you ask yourself those questions, like, why did I let myself get so embedded, so deep?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like that? Because I know I felt like that at times
Yeah.
where, you
Yeah.
know, where you beat yourself up so much, you just feel like, man, I done dug a hole so deep. I can see the hole to get out, but I can't climb out the hole because I'm gonna need a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You no longer can jump out of the hole.
You can't. Even when trying to, let's say I'm swimming to the top, I'm like underwater swimming to the top. I'm only halfway and I feel like I'm constantly drowning.
I feel like that at times too. And it's one of those feelings, it's not a good feeling. I look back on life and I think sometimes I just look and be like, man, if I could get 5 more minutes back of my life, there was so much I would change.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like when you have to learn hard lessons, especially about yourself, and you just feel like, man, if I would have gave a little bit more effort, you have to sit with that. Like I have to sit with those choices. I have to sit with the mindset of like, I didn't push myself.
Mm.
And when people say, well, Boney, you so hard on yourself, you gotta stop. Like you couldn't have done nothing different. And it's just like, you're not putting yourself in my shoes.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, sometimes, I beat myself up because I wish I would have started my mental health journey a long time ago, but I had that armor on.
Mm-hmm.
I had so much fear built up that, even when I thought I was healed, because, what I'm saying, I was stitched up. Wasn't nobody tearing that armor off.
Right.
I was good. But then, you know what? It catches up with you as you get older because it started to become more crippling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you carrying around all this luggage to where it's like you need a walker to be more stable, to stand up. But it's just like, I know we can't dwell on the past because we got to stay in the present in order to look forward to the future. But it's just like living in the present is hard because I ain't even thinking about the future.
It's hard to think about the future when, and this is part of one of the dirty secrets is like what you just said. It's like we got to look towards the future. We can't live in the past, but it's hard to look forward to the future when you're trying to work on your path.
Yeah, it's just like we're not supposed to dwell on our past, but it's hard to survive in the present because the past always come and visit.
It does.
It's that unwanted visitor that that pops up here and there to mess with your mind to keep you stagnant, keep you in that place of like, hey, I'm more consistent with being unhealthy
Mm-hmm.
than I am healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be the other way around. And what I mean is unhealthy is that when I'm trying to get my emotions and behavior under control and not be so stressed out in the anxiety and then the complex PTSD keep replaying like a worn out recorder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to deal with.
No, you're right.
Because, for me, the moment lasts forever. For some people, be like, oh, a moment is only a second. Your second longer than mine.
Yeah.
What you call a second, what I call reality. And then with the healing piece, healing is like, that's why some people are so scared to do it. Because they're afraid.
They don't like the emotional piece of it. They think, you should just work on it and then it's gone. It's gone forever. I don't feel like that's the case.
Yeah. It's not gone forever. It's just like bits and pieces. Bits and pieces are always going to challenge you because you know what? Whatever you went through in life, you take something from it and you add it to who you are. It helps build character in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to you and your choices on how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the different part of like some people heal with a lot of hurt. Some people heal with a lot of regret. Some people heal with a lot of guilt. And it looks different for everybody.
It does. It definitely does.
And when some people heal, they heal with being stubborn and being envy. When people walk around angry and they always mad,
Mm-hmm.
they be like, I got over it. Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. Are you weird? Are you really? So they done built up a stone wall. You know what I'm saying?
the thing is they talk about, oh, I'm cool, I'm cool. It's avoidance. You
Yeah.
talk about it. If you don't talk about it, then it won't you like come up, and at the end of the day it destroys who you are and the people around you, period.
Yeah.
But and tell me this, when you're on your healing journey, they don't talk about when you're healing, working on your healing, you're like, it's hard for you to connect with people who don't heal, who ain't working on their healing.
I'm telling you, that's like mixing water and sugar.
Mhm.
Because the thing of it is, when people say I'm healing, that's the sugar part because it looks so sweet.
Right.
You think you're done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you meet somebody who haven't healed and all they do is talk about, well, it sounds like complaining, but they don't see it as complaining because they never started their journey. You see what I'm saying? So when you hear the talks of like, well, nobody likes me, well, this is who I am. Other sayings like nobody like gets me, or they not willing to try to be more vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to work with somebody like that, especially if you on your own journey of trying to heal and figure out who you are.
Mhm.
And it's hard to sometimes give people support when they're not willing to take the step to want to change, to want better. Because, you get a lot of people that say, oh, I won't change, I want better. And they can sing that song, but
Mhm.
they never start the process.
Right.
So you have to be raw with that person and be like, hey, what is it that you want?
Yeah, but even being raw with a person that's not working on their journey or healing, it's hard to relate. And the reason why, if I say that, because I'm dealing with one now.
Right.
I'm dealing with someone who think they're doing their work and not doing their work. But yet every time you have a fucking discussion, it's, you know what? I just can't get into that. It's so uncomfortable to talk about it. Like, what the fuck is it?
Scared.
Or this what I was told today. And this is how I know someone is, not doing their journey, because when you become the villain of their story, you're always the fucking villain of someone's story, right?
Right.
Even if you're taking an approach and you're trying to talk to them and they say, well, you're always making me feel shitty.
They reflect and they're paying off on you when you didn't do anything wrong.
And you're trying to think like, damn. But at the end of the day, it's like, shit, work on yourself.
Yeah, because you can't put their stuff into your bucket when you got your own.
Right. But even trying to talk to a person like that or talk to people like that, when you're working on your healing journey, and this is the other part they don't talk about, how messy it can get, especially if you're, let's say, in a relationship with someone who's not working on their, it can get very messy. And even trying to have a conversation and talk about your healing journey, it's hard
Yeah, it's very
because,
hard.
I deal with a person that's very broken, very fucking broken.
And that's
But
really hard.
they, even trying to talk about a healing journey or talk about what I'm going through, they won't listen,
That's hard.
but they want you to listen to all their shit.
So let me ask you this question. How do you feel in your healing process right now when you're going to therapy, you putting in the work, and sometimes you just feel like you want to be able to express, like, hey, I've learned some new tools. I see that I've been working on myself, and you want to express that. How do that make you feel when you feel like you don't get that type of support going along within your journey?
Well, when I first started out, it was hurtful,
Right,
because you do want to share it with the people that's important to you, right?
right.
But you always know where that's going to lead.
Right.
So it's hurtful. Now, I don't, I do my therapy. I talk to my therapist. We have good dialogue and good stuff homework to do at the house, and I leave it there. Or I talk with you
Right.
about
Right.
it.
Right.
But other than that, like as far as my home, I leave it.
Yeah.
And I'll just say it was good.
Yeah. And I mean that's so times, and like for me, I just feel like, man, I don't know what I would do without the Bean Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like we be so raw with each other, but we also know what each one of us bring to the table and what we can handle.
Right, right.
Now we know certain things we can't bring to Thor, but you know what I'm saying. But
You can't bring that mug.
You can't bring everything to Thor.
That mug gets stressed out.
Stressed out. But at the same time, we can laugh about it later on.
Right.
But at the same time, when any of us stressed out, we know we can pick up the phone. Even if Thor can't handle it at that time, Thor gonna listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you can't handle the phone, we have each other in that. We have that. And I feel like it's a good thing to have that bond, to be able to have friends that you can pick up the phone and be like, hey, dog, listen, I got to get this off my chest, because when you can't get it within the home, that hurts.
It does. It to the point where you can either waddle in it or say, you know what, I'm just gonna have to climb and keep working harder at my healing journey.
Yeah, and it's just like when you having to healing is one of those things you do have to do alone. And some people may not understand that. They be like, well, what you mean? It's just like you have to heal alone because there's parts of you that got hurt before you met whoever you with to this day.
Absolutely.
Because healing start with your past.
Mm-hmm.
And it started when you're born. Sometimes people try to skip certain parts in order to heal. But in order to heal, you have to go through everything.
You have to deal with all the layers.
You really
all
do.
The onions. Yeah, there's days you're going to be crying, and there's days you're going to be angry. There's days you're going to feel like you don't want to get out of the fucking bed.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you right now, going through your healing journey, you start learning about yourself like, oh, because there was a part in my life, and I've said this before, that I've lost myself.
Right.
Trying to make everybody around me happy. And in that process, I was depressed.
Man.
I was depressed. There was times where I just was like, and I was having a self-doubt type of behavior.
Right.
In a sense of like, damn, am I not good enough? But in this healing journey, you start learning this stuff. First of all, it does make you stronger, but it makes you in a sense of like people who was trying to do the same fucking game.
Yeah.
It makes you angry. It makes you look at them like, why the fuck would you do that?
People don't understand your level of hurt. And I think like the thing that messes with your head the most is that when you willing to give all of you to somebody and you can't even get a small percentage of that back, they don't realize the damage that they putting upon you.
They probably do realize it, or they just don't care.
Now, sometimes I really think people don't really realize the effect of it. They just think like, oh, I hurt your feelings and you get over it. But they don't look at it as in depth of the damage that they're actually doing because you know why? They're selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people are always putting expectations upon you on their needs and wants, they're never going to put you first.
No, they're going to put themselves
They're never going to put you first. It's always about them first. And then when you're making them happy, then they expect for you to be happy too because you're doing the job that they want you to do for them.
And you see that. And like in my healing journey, I do see that.
Right.
Like when you start stepping away and working on yourself and start saying no, or I don't want to do that.
Right.
It becomes now, oh, you're always trying to start an argument.
Right.
Or you never care. Like and now that I'm saying no and this is I don't feel comfortable. Oh, you're not making me happy,
Right.
or I'm not happy in this relationship.
Right.
And so you start looking at things like, damn, so I was only good for you when I said yes.
Yep. And you know the sad part about it is there is so many people out there like that in this world. Just that it's kind of hard for you to find a person that's really genuine and doing it from their heart, because everybody be stuck in this interview process of wanting you to see them, and they portray themselves as a good individual, and they want you to be able to bow down to them and talk highly about them when they really don't even know themselves.
No, they don't.
And that's what's wrong with society right now.
But they pretend that they know. Like, people walk around, especially in the U.S., we walk around pretending, oh my God,
Yeah.
I know myself so well. I know what I want. We all thought we know what we want, but you get to a certain age, you'd be like, fuck, what was I doing that for again?
Because you know what? We thought we knew what we wanted because it was brought to us in a way where it's being portrayed, commercials, social media, how people you meet at jobs, family, friends, at wherever, everybody's putting on a representative.
Yeah.
They're bringing you a presentation, of their good work, because that mask come out. But then it's just like, it's not too many people that come out and just be raw, real, and just like, hey, this is me. This is who I am. I'm not here to impress you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's like when I meet people and, I get asked this question a lot. It'd be like, well, why don't you ever ask me any questions? Why?
Yeah.
What? This is not an interview. If you're trying to meet me and get to know me, and I'm trying to meet you and get to know you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have an open dialogue, we could talk about basic stuff. But at the same time, I don't need to ask you questions, because the thing of it is, I'm already listening to you talk, and I'm also watching how you move. I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can tell me whatever.
But see, I think they don't talk about it too, is when you're on your healing journey, like, all those traumas come up forefront.
Yeah.
The ones that you even stuffed away in a box.
Yeah.
I look at people now and I look for red flags, and it's sad. And I'm still working on that.
I look for red flags too. Yeah, it's sad. But I mean, hey, that's the reality that we live in, though.
It is.
When you done been burnt by people so many times, I mean, what else are you supposed to look for? You got to keep sitting through the interview process of them being fake, and then you got to wait like a couple of months or a year later to find out like, oh, this what ticks you off? No, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm saying it live today. I'm gonna be that person that I'm gonna make you mad on purpose, because I want to see how you're gonna react.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not judging, but I mean, you know what? Your actions is a part of you. But is it like, is you comfortable being this angry or being upset or being petty over something?
Well, look, here's the thing. If they show you once, okay.
Right.
If they show you 2 times, 3 times, that's who they are. That's their character.
Exactly. Oh, and then the other thing to look out for too is, when a person shut down on you right away. Oh, it's like, or if a person, what I'm saying, you trying to have a conversation or whatever, and they try to talk to you like you a little kid, like to belittle you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to have this conversation, and then it don't turn into a conversation. It just turn into them asking you 1,000 questions and want answers.
Or screaming at you.
Yeah. Like, come on, like, don't even do that. Because, like, real talk, you just opening up a can of worms to where we're not going to have a communicating dialogue to where you got 2 adults sitting at the table. You're going to have pretty much 2 angry people sitting at the table not listening to each other, or one person listening and then the other person raging.
Yeah.
So
or like not listening at all. Like, when you work on your healing journey and a person can't really have adult conversations, and they just belittling you and they talking to you, but in their mind, they thinking they talking to you like an adult.
Right.
But you already know how they talk to other people, because you see how they talk to people.
Right. But when they talk to you, it's like different. Like, well, you're not listening. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And it's just like, well, hold up. The last time I checked, I was grown, but why are you talking to me like I'm a 7-year-old?
Yeah. And so what I do is, like, we all, like, when you work on your healing, this is what I learned about myself, even as a child. And I realized, I'm pretty sure I used to do this as a child, and I know I did. I would go off and dream.
Yeah.
Then I'm somewhere else.
See, I used to go sit in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when you have your whole life planned out, or I would go sit in the closet because it was a safe place. And then, just sit there and just, like you said, daydream.
Mm-hmm.
You take your mind off somewhere else. And I think sometimes that's why it's hard to communicate with other people and not have, put up with when people start like getting to the part where they would be very argumentative, right?
Yeah.
You be like, I don't have time for that. And sometimes they take it as like, oh, well, you're shutting down and you're completely off. No, because right now we're not going to have this conversation because your voice has risen.
Yes.
Period, point blank. If we're going to have a discussion, we need to talk to each other with respect. And sometimes people forget that. They think like the louder they get, that they're being heard. And no, we're not going to have one person controlling the dialogue. We're both going to sit down and we're going to ask questions if we both want to be heard. But people don't do that anymore.
No, it's about controlling the dialogue. Like, and you see it all in politics too now, more than ever.
Right.
People talking louder over people. It doesn't make you powerful. It just make you stupid and an idiot. So like it's just really hard dealing with those folks when you're working on your journey. I know I shut off and I go somewhere else because it's my safe space.
It's your safe space. And we're not saying that shutting off is a good thing, but you know what I'm saying? You're aware that you do it. I mean, hell, I do it too. Cause in a heartbeat, I'll tell people in a minute, done. I'm done. I'm just like, because I'm not going to allow myself to go to another level of, it's not about getting out of character. I just know for me, it's like, what good is it going to do? Because neither one of us want to be heard. And sometimes for me, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn this. Sometimes it do take people a few hours or a day or two to really process, hey, what was we arguing about? What was really going on? And then bring it back to the table. But see, I was the type of person back then, this was before I was trying to work on myself, y'all. I didn't want to hear all that. We was going to talk about it then and there because it was just like, I would get so much anxiety from it to where it was just like my OCD would kick in and I'm just like, it would ponder. No, we got to talk about it right now. We got to talk about it right now. And like, no. Because I wouldn't get no sleep. I wouldn't eat. Bad thoughts would go through my head.
Yeah,
it was like really out of control. And so then I had to learn like, okay, well, what we don't want to talk about. And I'm still learning it. I'm not so fast, but like, oh my God, what? But I still have to work on that piece because I'm more aware of it now. But it's like one of those things where it's like, if you got something to talk to me about, don't even open your mouth unless you're ready to talk about it.
Yeah. I was the same way. Like, I got to know, we got to talk about it now. We got to work on it. Now I'm more like, I'm watching the tone of somebody.
Right.
I'm watching the body language of somebody.
Right.
And the face expressions, the emotion behind it is all there. So trying to talk to somebody at that height is no good. And at the end of the day, we probably won't. And it's not a probably. I know we're not going to revisit it because, you deal with people who are unhealed. You're not going to revisit it.
Right. And healing is just, like you said, it's really tricky. But then at the same time, it's just like, sometimes, you don't want to tell people about your healing process because sometimes, this has happened before too. I've seen it happen with other people that I've had conversations with where they're going through their healing process, but then they have people around them or they in relationships and their other half go through a period of being envy of them and jealous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, you think you better than me now. What? Just because, and it's nothing like that.
Right.
But then it's the thing of it's just like, instead of like being mad and upset about that, why not just hear them out, see if they're making changes and say, hey, I eventually want to start on myself because can't nobody force you to start a journey that you're not ready for. It's pointless.
Yeah, no.
Because you're not going to take anything from it.
Yeah, nah, you're not.
Because as soon as that therapist, counselor, or whoever make you mad, you're done. It's not for the weak.
No,
Therapy is not for the weak.
and if you got a
They're
good
not.
one, they're gonna challenge you.
Yeah, most definitely.
So it is definitely not for the weak. Yeah, and here's the other thing: the dirty secret of healing is, I don't know about you, but when people are having conversations with me, I think in my mind and like I want to see how you lie to me
Yeah.
because I know they're lying. You know, I know you just that's the part for my healing journey. I see my trauma come up. I see how I look at folks.
Right.
That's probably why they scared to come up to me. But
Yeah, people are scared to talk to you. I don't know why.
yeah, right. And I see how they do things. I see how they move, and I like quickly. I can be like, this person is, I can pick it out just by the aura and the energy.
No, you
That's
absolutely
that's
right.
my trauma.
I think my trauma is just that, like, I have an issue with trusting people unless you become a person in my circle. And it's no judgment on people. Like I can talk to anybody and I can get along with anybody. But I'm saying as far as being in my circle, there's a trust barrier there because I've been burnt by too many people.
Oh yeah.
Where people, they say they're in your corner, and loyalty means a lot. Loyalty over everything.
Hmm.
And sometimes you get it twisted because loyalty is over family too.
Hmm.
You can be a family member and not be about anything, but loyalty is a piece that, you know what I'm saying, it should be a part of you, should be a part of who you are. If you say that you're going to do something and you say you're going to support a person, hey, be on business, stand on business.
Hmm.
For real, stand on business. Because at the end of the day, whatever you say you're going to do, loyalty matters. Because when you leave this earth and you dead and gone, and people at your funeral, right? The one thing they can say about that person in that casket, hey, they was loyal. Because that's a bond that you gonna always have with an individual.
But
Is that loyalty.
you got to be careful of who you give that loyalty to.
But see, loyalty have to be earned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, like I said before, people going to come in your circle. People going to want to figure you out. They're going to want to know what you're all about.
Hmm.
But it's like, you got to be careful about who you let get in to know you.
Hmm.
Are they deserving? Because sometimes some people are not deserving to know who you are.
Oh shit! I can tell you this: I can pick up bullshit from a distance.
Yeah.
That's part of my trauma. But I can pick up bullshit from a distance. Like if you're trying to get to know me, I can pick up genuine or not. It's that simple, right? Like I can say, "Oh, this person is genuinely really cares."
Right, right.
But then you got on one hand, it's like they're pretending that they care,
Yep.
but they have an alternative motive, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I love you, but you're here to serve me. That's your alternative motive.
And you know the little thing, because you done heard this from your grandma,
Hmm.
great grandma. Like this is an old saying where our parents used to tell us and our grandparents used to tell us, we would come home and be like, "Oh, my friend," and they'll be like, "That ain't your friend. You ain't got no
You
friends."
ain't got no fun.
And as a kid, you be sitting here thinking like, "Dang, y'all mean? What you mean? That's my friend." They'll be like, "You ain't got no friends." They'll be like, "You'll see who your friends are as you get older." And you know what? You
Yep.
think about it now, you be like, they so right, because you know what? The friends that it's only a small percentage of people who still talk to friends that they went to school with from like grade school all the way up.
Mm.
Because once you go to college, you don't talk to your high school friends anymore. You know what I'm saying? Once you get out of college, you don't talk to your college friends anymore. It's probably one person that you may keep in contact with at a certain time, but then as you keep progressing in life, you lose contact with that person too.
Oh, you do.
So you know what I'm saying? So like that saying is kind of true. And then when we get out in the real world and like in the workplace, whatever, not everybody your friend. Anybody can smile in your face, but they can talk about you behind your back.
Yeah.
So it's just like, the thing of it is just that when I'm around other people, I can get along with everybody, but it's just like this. Not everybody gonna fit in my cab.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And it's just like when people want to try to get to know me as a person, my whole thing is kind of like, why? Because you know who I would prefer to know me? When I'm going to my groups, it's like, and I'm sitting in there for 3 hours, you know, I have come to reality of knowing like, hey, these are my people.
Yeah.
Like real talk. Like I had group today and I was just like, man, like this where I'm the most comfortable because I can be me. Nobody like trying to figure me out. Hell, we all sitting up in here because we got some kind of mental issues going on,
Mm-hmm.
but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to worry about the stigma, the judgment, or anything. And we talk about any and everything in group. I'm talking about the raw of the rawest.
Mm-hmm.
But we sit there and we have open dialogue and we help each other out and we're allowed to be who we are.
No, you're absolutely right.
I would ride for anybody that I've ever been in the hospital with, group. I would ride with them in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like this. I go in there with no expectations and I'm able to be myself.
That's true.
But when I leave group, it's just like, damn.
This is expectation.
It's one of those automatic things like what mask do I have to, put on? What do I got to protect now? What do I got to go listen to? Who's looking at me a certain type of way? Who portraying me to be something that I'm not? You know what I'm saying? I'll go back to like, okay, I got to change the channel, but what station I'm going to be listening to right now?
Nigga, I hate putting on a mask. Number one, it's suffocating and it's hot. It's
right.
Like if I gotta put on a mask for you, it's not for me. That mask is quickly gonna fall off, and you're gonna see me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. And the thing is, I think more so back then, I tried to do the mask.
How many masks did you have back then?
I had a lot of masks.
Yeah, I did too.
And, I think about all the masks that I had, and all of them were to protect the people around me.
Yep.
It wasn't really to protect me, but it was to protect the people around me, and so I didn't really care for the mask. Even in as a child in high school, college, and even now, like I can't. It's hard.
The mask is really hard, but it's hard because it's just like I feel like when you're healing, I feel like the reason why we wore those masks the way we wore them was because we didn't want anybody to feel what we felt. We looking at like, okay, we got to take care of everybody. They got to be good. But then at the same time, though, we was fed a lot of bullshit with different type of sayings. You know,
you got to do this. You got to, or you got to love this way,
or you got to uplift because you carrying this name and
right.
It's
you gotta present yourself a way.
Right.
So I have to present myself in a way that's fake.
Right.
I gotta pretend to down my light so you can shine.
Yeah. And but for you got a lot of hard questions you got to ask yourself and give yourself answers to. Because only you got the answers to the question. Now, the only thing about it is just that, like, how to go about it. Because in your healing process, you don't want to interrupt the healing and the stuff that you've been doing. But, like, in the healing process, you get those speed bumps.
Oh, man.
And some of those speed bumps, you think you're going over and you at the top of the speed bump, and then you start rolling backwards.
It's that speed bump that keeps scrubbing the bottom of your car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unnecessary speed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, you just scratched the shit. So I got all these scratches and shit. But, it's, healing
it's hard.
is difficult.
It's hard.
And sometimes the people around you, it's hard to heal from that. Because sometimes those are the people that break you. Even though they don't think that they break you.
Yeah.
Because they so fucking broken themselves.
But the hard part about it too is just that, like, healing, sometimes you just want to give up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Man, sometimes you just want to give up. I know there's days where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, why am I continue to fight? Because I feel like there's days where it's like when it hits me hard, I'm like, man, I'm still stuck. I'm tired of being stuck. It
Yeah.
makes you start feeling like you're a failure, you know? And then it's just like, but then the thing I think that keeps me going sometimes is just that when I look at my family and stuff like that, and I just see like, man, they would be hurt if I'm no longer here. But then I have to tell myself like, okay, you gotta continue with your purpose, you know? And it's just like, I have to keep remembering that it's like, man, I'm not doing it by myself. Like there's other people out there that's going through the same thing, and it may be different, like aspects, but there's things that we can meet in the middle. And like when it comes to feeling the same way, and I just be like, man, I have to remember, like, I'm not by myself. I'm not by myself. I'm not by myself.
Mhm.
But it's hard because it drains so much energy out of you. And sometimes, I mean, I know where you're coming from because, I come home and it's just me and Bobby. We be chilling and Bobby be looking at me sometimes when I'm looking at him. And, but sometimes, even though like he's my emotional support animal, there's sometimes where he look at me and he just be like, keep going.
Bobby, look at me. That's my woman.
He just be like, keep going. You got this. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I wish I could come home and be like, have somebody to be like, hey, how was your day? You know what I'm saying? Like, I see the work that you put in, like the tools.
Genuine.
But that's what I'm talking about, genuine. I don't want on that face stuff now. But I'm talking about genuinely. Because sometimes, when you working so hard on yourself to try to better yourself and it's you making it about you, sometimes you need that. And I ain't talking about like validation to keep going. I'm just saying you just need to hear it to where it's just like, hey, somebody see that I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's genuine.
Yeah.
Because I don't need you to validate me to keep pushing, but it's just nice to say, hey, Charity, I see you.
Yeah.
Hey, keep that up. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a different type of power.
Right.
Different type of power.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so glad I have therapy. Because if I didn't, Bonnie, like, my light would be so dim.
It would. It really would. No, it really would. Because, I mean, like, you have come a long way. You really have. And it is good that you started your journey, because think about where you would be if you never started.
I'll still be lost.
You would still be blinded.
I'd be lost. I wouldn't have a voice. I wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Right.
I wouldn't be doing some of the work I'm doing with film.
Right.
Even getting like our script out and
right.
just learning to on a whole new level. I would be, still trying to.
You would still be talking about it, but there's no progress.
There would be no progress.
And it's like the thing of it is like when you had told me about the script and you had gave me the dialogue thing to read or whatever, and just in your voice you was really excited. You was like, hey, I finished it. You was on like everything was uninterrupted. You got it done. Boom, 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 boom. Because that's how you used to working.
Yeah.
And it's just like to get that back for something that you have a passion for. Hey, it was energetic. Hell, it even pumped me up. You know what I'm saying? Like when I read the dialogue and everything like that, I was just like, oh man, this is really good. Like, hey, when we gonna get started?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you feel it.
Yeah.
Like you put that oomph into it. And it's just like, when somebody's trying to take your passion away or slow you down, it's disheartening.
It is. And you question like, damn, did these people care about me?
And I mean, I understand where you're coming from because, like I had a self-talk moment like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at home and everything. And when we had came back from Salem, and I was really sad, and I was just like, man, I'm actually getting back to like trying to like do things that like bring me joy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the thing that is kind of bittersweet because I'm like, man, the two people that I want to be able to share it with is no longer here.
Yeah.
So it's just like it took away the happiness, the moment of that happiness because I was sad.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about all the times where like anything, no matter what I was doing, they would be there to support. And it was genuine support. You know what I'm saying? A day didn't go by where we're just like I couldn't call up on the phone. Hey, Zoe, check this out. Guess what we doing? Hey, when this is, no matter what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, Marissa, I'm over here. And I think about the last time where it was just like, remember, she wanted to see me on the sideline coaching, and she drove all the way to Everett to see that. And she was sick as a dog. Like, was barely eating, no energy, with just her body was getting really tired of where you just want to sleep. But that moment I will never forget, because she never made it about herself, and she wanted to come and support. And that was the day that she surprised me, because I didn't even know she was coming. You know what I'm saying? But she wanted to see me on that sideline coaching, because she never had saw me on the sideline coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant the most to me, to where I was just like, wow. Like, she showed me a way of pushing forward and giving it all you got until it's time for the gas to run out. And then now it's just kind of like, I'm accomplishing things that I never thought I would ever accomplish,
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, if only you could be here to see this.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to share it.
Yeah.
Because it's a different type of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and when I look at people that's like going through stuff, and I just be like, hey, like, don't take for granted what you got. Because when it's gone,
you're going
to hurt differently.
Yeah.
So if you got an opportunity to change and want to do better, hey, do it. Stop talking about it. Get the process started.
Yeah.
Because, there's things for me in my healing journey that I'm learning about myself that I wish that I could go back and change.
Like what?
Back when I was in a relationship,
mm-hmm.
and there would be things that I was too scared to change about myself,
mm-hmm.
to be able to be that partner, to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna work on myself a little bit harder. I'm a change, instead of saying I'm trying, because my trying and what somebody else see me trying, it wasn't matching.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? If I would have took the time to be more willing to challenge myself,
mm-hmm.
instead of going through the motions. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that I could have been able to be in a healthy relationship.
Okay.
I would change that. Because see, now I'm alone.
Right.
So, I have to sit here with myself, and I think about those things. Time is not always on our side. So if you in a relationship, or if you in a marriage, or, even a friendship, if you in any type of ship, and you have a companion or a friend or a partner that's willing to stand by you and be by your side and want to see you do better and grow, don't take advantage of that. Do something about it.
Mm.
And if you need help, let them know, hey, I don't know how to get started, but can you help me? Can we figure it out together?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, once it's gone, all you left with is shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in your case, especially losing, loved ones, that's hard.
It's hella hard. When I lost Zoe,
mm-hmm.
that was just like, I feel like, that was meant to be. The first day me and Zoe met each other, we never left each other's side, and it was just like, that was a brother from another mother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
literally,
to find somebody that would do the crazy stuff you like to do, and just random, and we both was Geminis, and we just, hey, I learned a lot from him, because Zoe never let anything stress him out.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, you know what? Well, that went from sugar to shit, but what you want to do now? You know what I'm saying? It was never sarcastic. It was just like, well, we can't worry about it now, but we'll figure something out. But like, hey, let's go do this. We would just do random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I could be sitting in the bed, depressed as hell, and Zoe be like, hey, let's go get something to eat. Let's go to the mountains. And it would just be random. Nothing ever was planned that we did. We very seldomly planned anything. We would talk about stuff, but then we'd just be like, hey, I'm bored. Me too. What you want to get into? I don't know. We just start scrolling and we just go. And I miss that now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I can't do with nobody else, because that was our thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Zoe taught me how to be adventurous.
Mm.
Because I felt like I was already adventurous, but like his type of adventurous that he brought, and then we put it together like a compound.
Mm.
It was a wrap.
Yeah.
It was a wrap. Because we always would be like, hey, we got stories to tell now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss that.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. So I just think like people, you know, when you're trying to heal and work on yourself, don't isolate yourself to where you miss out on opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't get them back.
You can't.
And that's the toughest pill you have to literally swallow. Like there's days where I just be like, man, I just think about it, but like if I just had 5 more minutes, and most people are like, well, what you can do in 5 minutes? A lot.
It's a lot you can do.
A lot. And you know, the thing of it is the hardest part was when Marissa passed away. You know, we had to say what we needed to say through text because she couldn't talk anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And so I still have those text messages on my phone that I have locked in that I'll never erase because it makes you go back and it makes you look at life differently now.
Yeah.
So like I have a thing where it's like when people think that like, oh, we have time or they taking life for granted, I don't look at it like that anymore.
Yeah.
Cause I'm just like, nah, time go faster than what we think.
It does.
It really does. I mean, look at it. We in 2025. The year is almost over.
Shit, thank God.
You know what I'm saying? But you think about it, look at how fast it went.
Yeah.
The time
Especially
go
when
by.
you get older, it goes faster.
When we're kids, we thinking it's an eternity, but like it's really not.
Like when you hit a certain age, it goes faster. And I was just thinking about that today in the kitchen. Like, damn, it goes so fast.
I can remember when I was back in middle school thinking like the year 2000, that's going to be having flying cars and all this stuff. And you be thinking about like, man, we already in 2025.
You mean 2020?
We grown.
Mm-hmm.
We almost considered, is we considered middle age now?
Oh, no, I'm still young, dude.
No, we're not middle age yet.
No, nigga, I'm still young.
I'm still young too, but I'm just saying, like, you know, they have like a little saying for each one. Cause you know, when you reach like the 90s and the 100s, they call you like
death.
Centennials. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, they keep mixing it up. 1 minute we're baby boomers.
We ain't no baby boomers. We ain't that old.
Well, I mean,
we're millenniums. I thought. No, we Gen Z, Gen X. We one of them gens.
We one of them. I thought, yeah, we one of them.
No, you can be in a baby boomer all you want. Baby boomer is our parents' age.
That was a good age because they retired really good.
Yeah. But I guess our thing is if you're going to heal in a positive way. And when you're healing, be realistic with yourself.
Oh, man, you have to. Like, don't have expectations of healing.
No, don't do that.
You're going to be disappointed. Really.
Very.
You know, and I hear this a lot where people like, you know, they see their friends go to therapy and they were like, well, they should be fixed or they should be healed. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. Just have compassion for yourself. And there's days where I really have to have compassion for myself. Because sometimes I just want to just scream.
Yeah.
But then, you know, yeah.
I think the thing of it is, too, is just that, like, people have to be not scared to have open dialogue. Like, if you're struggling, own up to it. But you know what? You have to find people that you can be open to talk to about it because sometimes people get so scared where they try to like shut you off and be like, oh yeah, I get it. And because they're uncomfortable. But it just like, don't be scared to start the process. It's tough. We ain't gonna even sit here and bullshit with you. It's tough. I ain't, you know, there's days where I still cry, y'all. I still struggle. And I still have to like go to mandatory groups 3 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, like in the beginning, I was just kind of like not feeling it. But now I can honestly say that like the more work I'm putting in, trying to get back on track, trying to be more stable, you know, it helps.
Mhm.
It really do, because it's an eye opener, on some things that I probably like missed, where I needed to work a little bit harder on myself, because like, the thing of it is sometimes people get the wrong idea when they think that you're in treatment, that the medication is always going to work and fix you. And it's just like, nah.
Yeah, it's a dirty game. It's a dirty secret about the healing. There's so many things and hoops and emotions,
Yeah.
and just it feels like sometimes like a roller coaster, and sometimes it feels like a lucid, very smooth, right? But other times it feels like I'm on a roller coaster, or and sometimes it's uncertainty where it's going to come from or how you're going to feel that day. So it's almost like a Tesla.
You absolutely right.
People are like, what? Yeah, it's like, but that, it's just, you got to really have compassion for yourself. I mean, just know, and no expectations. Just know that healing is a dirty journey, and there's many layers that need to be peeled, and who knows how long that layer may be. And especially if you have severe childhood trauma, that can be, who knows, a lifetime of healing.
You
Maybe not.
right.
But you always got to constantly work at it, right? And sometimes it ain't going to be the greatest, and it ain't going to look pretty. You're going to cry. You're going to have snot coming out your nose,
Right.
or you can be angry and want to punch a wall, or, do what I do. I shut off and go somewhere, which is not healthy, but it's a dirty game. That being said, we had a poetry fundraiser on Monday, and it's for to send Boney to Worlds Championship in Worlds. And so if you would like to donate or buy a picture with her poetry on it, hit us up in the group chat or the poetic 29 was it
Poetic 293 on Instagram.
on Instagram, or you can go to the TikTok. You can hit me up on TikTok. It's Dominating Films, or Charity Read on Facebook. So just look us up, hit us up, and let us know. And if you have a topic that you want to talk about or that we haven't even touched, please hit us up. We're open. Like I said, this is a safe space. This is a time to take stigma out of mental health, and it's time to talk about it. Let's get dirty. Let's work on that healing journey.
Most definitely.
That being said, see ya.
Peace.